All right, guys, I think we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon Masterclass. I have one heck of a guest here tonight, so please join me in welcoming the one, the only, Dr. Applesauce, everybody. Will, how's it going, buddy?
What's up? I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good day. How you doing?
I'm doing good as well, man. I'm glad that we finally got to see this come to fruition. We've been working on getting together for a few weeks now, and I know you're a busy guy, I'm a busy guy, and that seems to be the consensus with all of my guests. I guess that's just the territory with content creators. But dude, so happy to have you here. Been wanting to have you on for a while now, and just a big thank you and shout out for making this happen.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I remember learning about you. Somebody sent me a message and was like, hey, this guy, PokéNav, a bunch of people on his live stream telling him that he should have you on. And I'd never heard about you before. That was several months ago. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I've been interested in wanting to come and talk. But it's just, time. Actually setting things aside, and then you reached out and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to do this. And then that was like 3 weeks ago, and we had to reschedule 2 or 3 times. And my wonderful wife, God love her, was like, so are we actually, like, is it this week? Like, when is it? When are you doing this? But yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. It's always fun to talk about the hobby, and we live in a really blessed situation, people like you and I, where not only do we have this hobby that we can enjoy, but we've also figured out a way to make a little bit of money from it, and at the same time to provide value to other collectors, because you can make money without adding value. You can make money while taking advantage of people, but I think making a little bit of money and providing value is really the sweet spot. And if you can do it with something that you love, even better.
Oh yeah, it's a win-win-win. And you said it there. We share another thing in common here. We're both dads, we're both husbands, and this is something, again, that I feel so fortunate that I've been able to, and it's just one, right? This is just one of many things that I do. Like, you can ask my wife, my repertoire is always expanding of all the different projects and things that I take on, and she's probably a little sick of it by now. But I totally agree with you. I love the fact that this hobby, and I've said it before, it offers so much to so many, where you can enjoy it just from a passion standpoint, but you can also make this passion a full-time income. I mean, you're a prime example, a living example of that, being able to provide value to people, to share your passion, and also to be able to do that to provide for your family. It's just so awesome.
And it's the great, because I didn't start off wanting to make an income out of it. I started off doing it for fun, but then I realized, I could probably do this and collect for free. So for the longest time, that was my goal, is like basically to be able to collect the things that I want to collect, and not have it come out of our monthly budget. And so I think that's an important note too, is because there's a lot of people aren't going to fall into the category to where they can, or they want to be a full-time content creator, or whatever the case may be, but they might have, the discipline to figure out an extra 10 hours a week to, hey, I can build up this great collection and do this or do that or whatever the case may be, and essentially collect for free. And that's why on both of my channels I always educate people. I like to tell people what I see in the market, whether it's the Funko market or the Pokemon card market. Like, here's what I'm seeing, here's what people are doing, here's how people are trying to sell brand new stuff at this cost. I've looked at the data. So I put out a video on Dr. Applesauce 2 on this channel, the Pokemon channel, a couple weeks ago in preparation for Evolving Skies and Celebrations. And I basically went for the past year worth of releases and said, guys, here's what these products were selling for the first couple weeks, and then 4 or 5 months later, here's what they're selling for. The data shows that if you're patient, you don't have to overpay. If you want to overpay, that's different. But the data shows for the past year. So what are you going to do when it comes down to Celebrations and Evolving Skies? If Pokemon has continued to reprint and this and this and this has happened, what are you going to do? So I always try and educate that, to let people know, hey, here's how you can better yourself and make better decisions. And then at the same time, be open and honest about, hey, did a CGC bulk submission of 60 cards and I spent $700. I'm going to sell $700 worth of these cards. And then guess what? Everything else is free. I'm not trying to turn it all over real quick and sell it, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to sit on it for a long time and enjoy it. But, and so I'm always transparent about here's ways and techniques that you don't have to have a 6-figure job to be able to have a nice collection. You don't have to go into 6 figures worth of debt to have a nice collection.
Well, and I think that's something that a lot of people have learned over this last year. And, coming from a finance background, being a financial advisor, I saw long before the Pokemon craze, the amount of people that were putting themselves into debt and not really having that financial prudence. And I saw how that bled into Pokemon card collecting, and especially we'll call it investing over this last year, how many people were putting things on credit cards, taking out loans, really putting themselves into deep debt. And the one aspect of the hobby that I think has changed the most over this last year has been the knowledge and the information that people have garnered and have really put themselves in a much better position than they were a year ago. And I've had guests on the podcast before who will come straight out and say, hey, when I got into this hobby, I was really thinking that it was something way different, and I got in over my head. And now what's great is they share those experiences with the community. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. For me, I got back into Pokemon back in early 2016. And so when I finally decided to start my YouTube channel, one of the biggest things that I wanted to share was not necessarily my successes, but my mistakes.
Right.
Because those are the things that I learned the absolute most from.
Right. Yeah. That's so good. It's fun. I look right here, because I was telling you I rearranged a bunch of stuff. I have sitting right here the first booster box that I bought when I got back into Pokemon for $130. XY Evolutions. That has, I think it's still, I saved an art set of the packs that's just chilling inside, because I didn't have room over there. I put the sealed one on the back, because we want to put want to show off the sealed product. But you're saying getting back into Pokemon, I'm like, oh yeah, look right here. This is the first box that I opened, and really what it was for me was being a huge collector of, if anybody watching, you can just look in the background and I can probably see half a dozen different collectibles that I enjoy and that I collect, right? And so for me, it was just, I had a bunch of friends that collected Pokemon, and they were all like, start collecting Pokemon, you can do it with us, it'll be fun. I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I love Pokemon, I always have. I used to collect as a kid. And I was like, okay, I don't know what the sets are. What should I buy? And everybody was like, buy Evolutions, because it's essentially a reprint of the base sets, and that's what you grew up on, and that's what you knew. I was like, sure, let's buy Evolutions. I'm like, $120? How many packs for $120? Only 36? No, that's a good deal. Okay, so I bought it, and then I remember looking at it, opening the box, saying that was a lot of fun. I feel like I should go buy like 5 or 6 more. They were $150, and I said no. And then within like 6 months, they skyrocketed. But all that to say, I started doing it for nostalgia and for fun, to bring back memories, and applied everything that I've learned from Funko over the past 7 years in Funko applies directly to this. And then now I'm interested in MetaZoo. I've opened a couple booster boxes, and it's fun. It's cool. I personally like it. There's a lot of, don't really know what's going on there. But there's some things happening in MetaZoo right now with the new release. I'm not going to jump deep into MetaZoo, but there's a new release coming out, and I've started telling people, hey, y'all need to prepare yourselves, because this is what's going to happen. People see money. Okay. The MetaZoo first edition booster box is released for $100 a piece. Within 2 weeks, they were selling for $700 when nobody was paying attention. I was like, I guarantee you every cook group, monitor group, flip group worth their salt is looking for MetaZoo, and they're preparing to eat everything. Y'all need to prepare yourselves. Oh, that's not going to happen. It's not. I was like, okay. I mean, you don't believe me. I watched it happen with Pokemon. I sat there and watched it happen with Pokemon, told people it was going to happen, told LGSs that were running online stores, this is going to happen. You need to set captchas in place, or you need to set passwords in place. And it happened. Nobody believed me. And I was here making videos about it.
Yep. Well, I agree with you. I really like the new releases that are coming out for MetaZoo. For those of you listening or watching right now, the newest set coming out, Nightfall. I really like the premise behind it. I like that it's like these North American, like mythological, like creatures, the Mothman, you know, all these different like legendary, you know,
They're cryptids. So it's like folklore. You know, the things that go bump in the night, like chupacabras and Mothman, and there's one called the Lake Worth monster that's from the city that I'm from. So it's kind of cool how they're putting all that together.
And then I think there's a subsequent set that's going to be releasing that's kind of like, I think it's more of like UFO related, and like that's perfect for me because I'm a huge X-Files fan. So like anything UFO related, like, oh yeah, I'm all about that. I'll be jumping on it.
There's it looks exciting. And like I said, I know a bunch of the viewers here are probably here for Pokemon, and I always like to ask my viewers questions. And so I ask, you know, I'll do polls and stuff. What do you think about MetaZoo? What are your questions? And a bunch of people just, MetaZoo's crap. Have you looked at the cards? Have you held the cards? Have you opened the cards and like actually took a minute to look at them and kind of appreciate, oh, these actually look kind of cool. Like it's different. It's new. It's kitschy. It's like, well, no, I haven't had the chance to. Okay, well, you know, don't hate something until you've taken an opportunity to look at it, right? And it's interesting. And so all of that to say, I just try and take what I've learned from being a collector and having a budget of like $10 a month that I could buy one Funko Pop. You know what I mean? Or then getting to the point where I had no money to buy Funko Pops. So if I wanted something new, if I wanted some new cards, you know what's going on the chopping block? You know what I mean? And then now I'm at the point where I try and teach people the huge win, regardless of if you're like actually making money, is if your collection can be self-sustaining.
Yes. Where
you have a separate PayPal account or something that, you know, has a 300, 400, 500, 600, but whatever in it. And then when something new comes out, and let's say when Celebrations comes out, if there's the big hotness chase card that I have a video coming out probably next week that's talking about, is it more beneficial to buy packs or just buy the card that you want? And that new chase card is going to be $500, and you don't want to spend $500. If your collection is self-sustaining, you can take a look at everything and say, well, what can I get rid of? And laterally trade, so to speak. You know, I think that's a big thing for collectors too, is to be able to have their collection be self-sustaining, to where if you want something, you can figure out how bad you want it by looking at what you have and seeing if you're willing to get rid of something to get it. I think that's a big key, and something that I see a lot of issues with adult collectors is a lot of us want everything we want and don't really know how to not have the things that we want.
Well, and you know, that's just kind of a macrocosm of really society nowadays in general, of just wanting to have everything, that instant gratification, but not really having to put skin in the game, so to speak, in order to get that. It's so much easier, just put it on a credit card, take out a loan, you know, just worry about it later on down the road, where if you do the right things up front, you really set yourself up for success. This is something you can do perpetually.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can apply it. You can start it with your collection, and then you can take those lessons and apply those lessons to every aspect of your life, essentially, whether it has to do with finances or not.
Yeah, exactly. So now that we're on the topic of collections, let's talk a little bit about this collection that everyone sees there behind you. We've got the perfect juxtaposition in this video, because you've got basically wall to wall, ceiling to ceiling, massive collection. I'm sitting in here in a room that I haven't had an opportunity to do anything with. So I'm glad that we gave you guys that crossover there. But let's talk a little bit about that. How did it all start for you? Was collecting something that you just got into when you were a kid, and that's something that you kept going with into your adulthood, and what was the fascination with Funko Pops as well?
So I didn't really collect as a kid. I mean, I did, but it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I was doing it because I wanted to have a collection. I just, you know, wanted the things that I wanted. And so it really started with anime. and Dragon Ball Z when I was like 13. And then I had some friends show me some other anime, Rurouni Kenshin, Akira, Oh My Goddess, Tenchi Muyo, Fruits Baskets, Chobits, a whole bunch of different anime, and Samurai X, and I was just hooked. And so I collected VHS animes because I wanted to watch them, and DVDs and t-shirts, which I have vintage Dragon Ball Z t-shirts that I wore holes into that are, no joke, 20 years old, that I see some of these vintage clothing shops, and these exact shirts are going for hundreds of dollars. And so it kind of started with that, and then had some hard times in life, and got out on my own, and kind of did the wild crazy thing for a while, didn't really care about any of that. And then I actually was I was a missionary in 2014 for a year, and traveled around the world and did that, and came home, and my roommates had taken a new roommate when I moved away for a year, and then so I moved back in, and Tommy was a Funko Pop collector, and Tommy I just want to hang out with him. And so he'd be like, hey, let's go to Hot Topic, or let's go to Toys R Us. Or, why are we going there? Oh, I'm looking for this Harry Potter thing, or I'm looking for this group thing. And so I just, out of a desire to hang out with my roommate, would go around with him on Funko Pop hunts. I didn't know we were Funko Pop hunting back then. And then I would look at, I'm like, oh, these are kind of cool. Oh, okay, these are kind of cool. And then so my birthday came around, and I told my girlfriend, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, I want a Batman Funko Pop. So she bought me, it's right there. Wow. You probably can't see it, but just regular old Batman right there. And then I went on a Funko Pop hunt with Tommy and found a Dragon Ball Z Goku, and it just kind of started from there. And so I collected a little bit, and then we moved into this house, and I was actually this was my office. Before that, I was a project manager for a construction company. And this is an aspect that a lot of people don't know about me, because I just I keep it separate. But I actually used to be a competitive pistol shooter for USPSA, and so we would shoot competition pistol, and I wanted to start learning 3-gun, which is shooting competition. It's competitions, and you shoot pistol, rifle, and shotgun. So I had saved up $600 to purchase a competitive shotgun, and I'm gonna land the plane. There's a point to all of this. I'd saved $600 to purchase a competitive shotgun, and decided that I didn't want to buy that because I wanted to just continue focusing on pistol. I didn't want to split my attention between 2 different platforms and be halfway good at both. I wanted to be really, really good at one before I moved on to another. So I had this $600 or $700, and I had just come back from a convention meeting Chris Sabat, the voice actor for Vegeta and All Might, and got an autograph pop from him, and then meeting Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, and having those experiences and just wanting to share those with people, and took that money, and literally at one point I was like, am I going to start collecting retro video games or Funko Pops? I don't know how to screen record when I play retro video games, so let's go to Funko Pops. And that was literally the decision. And I have, like, over here, I mean, I still have retro video. I have N64, Nintendo, the original Zeldas, Final Fantasies, and all that. So that's kind of how that came about. And I just wanted to share with people, and wanted to share the things that I was doing and seeing. And then after a couple months, really realized that what I really wanted to do was use this medium of YouTube. And then I have a Discord, and then I have a Facebook group that has a couple thousand people in it, to show people that the internet can be a positive place, that you can cultivate and create environments that people aren't going to be toxic, people aren't going to be rude, people are going to be kind, you can make friends, you can feel accepted. And I can't tell you how many people have messaged me saying, like, I don't have any friends in real life, and because I watched your videos and I went to your Facebook group, I actually have friends now. Not that I can actually go and visit, but friends that I've met online. Like, what in the world? Just because I decided to make a video on a Jason David Frank autographed Green Ranger one day, and really just wanted to show people that, there's love in the world, and then show people what I've learned, maybe give a little bit of something to help people build collections and help people know that they're loved, help people know that there's hope, that there's a plan for their life. And that's kind of how it all started. And then Pokemon, just when I started collecting Pokemon again, I was like, well, I know how to make YouTube videos, so let's try. And then here we are.
So when did you start Dr. Applesauce too? And before I get to that, I have to ask, where did the name Dr. Applesauce come from?
It's about as random as me deciding to make Funko content originally instead of retro video game content. I was fresh out of high school, was 19. So this is 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was a part of a clan for Call of Duty 4. Not Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Call of Duty 4. The original Modern Warfare.
The OG.
The original one, yeah. And so it was clan. We like had regular practices. We knew what weapons spawned where on the map and the intervals between spawning and stuff like that. And I had some weird name, and I was like, okay, I need like a real gamer tag, like something that people are going to remember when they get owned, because they're going to get owned. And I just came up with Dr. Applesauce, and I've been Dr. Applesauce online ever since. Any gamer tag I've ever had on RuneScape, on Xbox, on PlayStation 4, it's been Dr. Applesauce. Just came up with it randomly. And it, when I decided to make a YouTube channel, I was like, it has to be Dr. Applesauce. It has to be. People are like, well, no, you're going to do Funko. It has to be like something Funko related. Or you're going to do Pokemon. It has to be something Pokemon related. I'm like, no, I'm Dr. Applesauce. That's who I am. Mm-hmm. And it gives me a little bit of freedom in case I need to pivot ever. You know what I mean? I'm not pigeonholed. It's not collecting Funko Pops with Dr. Applesauce. That's collecting with Dr. Applesauce. Mm-hmm. It's not, opening Pokemon cards with Dr. Applesauce 2. It's Dr. Applesauce 2. Now, the logo might say Pokemon with Dr. Applesauce 2, but logos can always be changed if they need to be, or if opportunities arise to expand and get bigger. Because there's this weird, and this will be my last piece before I bump it back to you, there's this really weird tension and juxtaposition, and I'm sure you can relate, where when you're a content creator and you've built a following and people love you for you, but also they enjoy the content that you create, right? And it's the whole concept of like, hey, don't forget where you came from. And like, I'm not just in this to grow and make money and become successful. That's not my sole purpose. That is a desire. I want to grow, and I want to, I have dreams and ambitions that I think this is going to be a vehicle to get me to owning my own production studio one day, and having a bunch of other YouTubers that are with me and we're helping other people. Like, this is a vehicle to get me to there, right? And so I want to continue to grow, and I just don't want people to ever feel like, if changes ever happen, that they're being abandoned. It's hard to articulate. This is something that I'm currently processing and going through, because things change in the world. And so I just don't want people to ever think that or feel that way. But you also, as a creator or as a businessman or anything, you don't want to get pigeonholed into one thing, and you don't want to sacrifice potential growth for lack of diversifying.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. I've wondered the same thing for myself with the umbrella of PokéNav being maybe a little too niche, a little too narrow, to where, if you do start to expand out and want to, stretch your wings a little bit and do other things, have you, as you said, pigeonholed yourself into an expectation of one area. And so I can completely understand that, but I think you did it right in the beginning. Just, Dr. Applesauce, that brings so many different things to mind, and there's so many different ways that you can go. And, for you have experience in a lot of different areas as well. You have a lot of things that you can offer to your community beyond just maybe what they've come to expect, but other things that they can maybe not have expected from the beginning, and maybe didn't come to the channel for, but once they see it, and they, as you said, I think you said it very well, ultimately they're coming to your channel because they like you. They like what you represent, they like what you offer, and then the content itself is kind of secondary to that. So to me, no matter what you put out as a creator, I'm coming to the channel because I like you, because I like Will, because I like Dr. Applesauce, and I'm going to be interested in no matter what it is that you're pursuing.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think even as a content creator, as you continue to grow and reach even higher levels, in the YouTube partner program, that's even more relevant, because you get to, there's a tipping point in YouTube where, I don't know what it is, but there's a tipping point that you have such a large following that any video you put out is going to get immediately viewed by those people that want to watch it just because you made it. And then that number of people is over the threshold that YouTube determines this videos need to have X amount of views within X amount of time for us to put it on the recommended platform. So it's a little convoluted for anybody that's listening. It might not make a lot of sense, but basically, if a video on YouTube gets put out and it gets viewed a certain percentage or a certain X number of times within the first hour, YouTube will take it and start putting it on the recommended shelf. You know, when you watch a YouTube video and you got all the videos right there next to you on the right-hand side, it says up next, start putting it there. And once you have a certain amount of following, people that just want to watch your videos just because of you, and that number is over what YouTube wants, every video you put out. And so it's the snowball effect, or it's the the concept of compounding interest, right? You're pushing that train up the hill, man. Pushing that train up the hill, and then one day, then the snowball is just going to take over. So
well, and we've seen that
not
too.
there yet.
I mean, you see it with somebody like Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul can put out a video just on about anything, and he probably wants to. He probably wants to at this point diversify himself as much as he can, because that then opens him up to an entirely new segment of the market that he wasn't in before. I can look at somebody like Graham Stephan as well, who is predominantly a business and finance channel, but he got really into Pokemon there for a while, did an interview with King Pokemon, got in on some of his box breaks, and those videos were huge for him. And
because he had
just
so many people that
just
wanted to see everything he was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you'll always have that core audience as a creator. And like I said, this is something that I'm currently processing through, because I'm not at that point where I know that core is strong enough that no matter what I decide to do, my videos are going to continue to get pushed. I'm not there yet, but I'm still like trying to figure out exactly the right things to do on the other channel. I'm not talking about Applesauce 2. I'm very happy with the Pokemon channel the way it is, and it's fun and it's exciting. My main channel is experiencing, it's probably time for some new elements to be added. Not to say I'm going to change everything or stop doing what I'm doing, but for some new things to come around.
Let's talk a little bit on the topic, because I've asked other content creators this question before, and I've had some big content creators on here. I've had Randy from Randolph Pokemon.
He's awesome.
Yeah, big followings. And I've asked them before where they think the future of Pokemon content creation is going to go. Are we going to reach a point where maybe like box openings just don't have the same kind of fervor, the same kind of appeal that they did before? What's the next point for Pokemon specific content creators to go? Do the Leonharts, the Unlisted Leafs, the Real Breaking Nates, the biggest content creators in Pokemon, do they still have that same kind of model that can sustain them for years to come? Or is there going to be a fulcrum point where it starts to tip and they're going to have to pivot? I'm interested to get your thoughts on that.
So I have two my perspective is twofold on this. And this is a decision that I made for my channel, is to actually stop opening Pokemon cards on my Pokemon channel. So I have a Pokemon channel that I rarely open Pokemon cards unless it's a brand new set or something that's interesting, or a mystery box. I'm not opening Pokemon cards. I'm doing different things. I'm talking about something that's happening, talking about some prices, or doing some type of a 101 or showing fake this or whatever. I'm trying to bring content that's different, that isn't the same, right? And I think that's where the future is going, because that's what people on YouTube have responded to on my videos. So we can, as YouTubers, we can really easily gauge what viewers want in any specific niche or market based upon what videos they want to watch. So I think that content creation for Pokemon is going in that direction, and it doesn't mean it's going to continue going in that direction. But my other point is, I think the guys like Nate, like Leonhart, like Super Duper Danny, like Randy, those guys that's predominantly what they're doing, is opening packs. I think they're okay, because they're the reason why nobody wants to watch. And this isn't me being salty. I'm not salty. They're the reason why nobody wants to watch my Pokemon card openings, because you have a good spread of fantastic content creators that are known for awesome, entertaining, fun videos opening Pokemon cards, and they are pulling in the lion's share of that market, which is fine. So I think they're okay because they've elevated their followings to such a degree that I decided to collect Pokemon cards. Well, let's watch some Pokemon card openings. What's the newest set? Evolving Skies Pokemon card opening. Who's going to pop up? It's going to be Leonhart, Unlisted Leaf, or probably Real Breaking Nate. So they're good because they've built their platforms to such a degree. So I think they'll be okay because I think they'll just continue to grow. But I think that they're going to have opportunities to do different things if they wanted to that would be really, really successful. If they want to just continue to open Pokemon cards, that's fine. But you see with Nate, he goes out and he does Pokemon card hunting videos, which are cool. And he does different things where he gives back to the community in different ways. And Leonhart is doing different things where he has different creators on, or he's trying to put on different events and things of that nature. So I think the future for people that are wanting to do Pokemon content is not openings. If you don't have an established base, if you're wanting to grow, if you're just wanting to have fun and you just want to make videos to share with your friends, and and that's, you just want to do it for fun and you want to do pack openings, then that's awesome. But if your goal is to grow and create, a residual income of $1,000 a month, or create a YouTube channel that can pay for your collecting, I don't think that it's in pack openings unless you're willing to spend a lot of money up front and have a lot of tenacity. I really think talking to people and telling people about different things and making good, interesting videos. Perfect example is Deep Pocket Monster, Pat Flynn. Awesome guy. And he's kind enough to answer my DMs one day and give me advice. And his advice has really helped my content grow and mature. He does content in a way that he does openings sometimes and he does other stuff. And he's exploded to almost 100,000 subscribers in, I think, less than a year. Yeah. So that type of content, what Pat's doing on Deep Pocket Monster, I think that's where the future is going to be, because it's different. But then it's going to pivot again at some point in the future. So unless you are, like Leonhart and Ando and Nate, where you just have such a huge base that no matter what you do, because you have 1 million subscribers, and out of those 1 million subscribers, you have 100,000 diehard fans that are going to watch every single video you put out within the first 24 hours, no matter what it is, which is automatically going to bump you into the recommended tab on YouTube. Unless you're one of those guys, I think that's where the future is going to go, talking and speculating. And there's nothing wrong with speculation. And I think, if you're speculating on things and you make a mistake, tell people you made a mistake later on. Yeah. Because like we were talking about earlier, very often it's those same mistakes that you learn the most from, right? I know for myself, a lot of the videos that have been the most successful for me were videos where I said one thing in one video and I came back and I said, hey, you know what? I was dead wrong on that last one. And again, people appreciate that. They appreciate that transparency and understanding that we're all human. We all make mistakes. This is not a perfect science. We don't have, Pokemon card collecting, investing, whatever. It's not like we've got the SEC or FINRA that's overseeing and regulating everything. Like, we're all basically just sharing experiences that we've had over the years, and doing the best with what we know, we understand, and what we've accumulated over that period of time. But I agree with you. I think that in some ways, I think maybe some people out there might be a little bit disheartened by the fact of, oh, well, I really like to open packs, and I'd like to just build a channel around opening packs. Well, maybe you can still do that, but you're going to have to figure out how to do that in a unique way. You're going to have to introduce some element to be different. How are you going to do it differently? So there is a friend of mine, his name's Ali, Seismic Shock TV. His channel 3,000, 4,000 subscribers, something like that, and he was doing all pack openings and having a hard time. And I was like, bro, you gotta have to. That's what you want it to be about, is pack openings. You have to figure out something. You have to add some element, something different. So what he started doing is different Pokemon hunting challenges. So usually the first half of his video is going out hunting, and the second half is opening or talking about something and opening. And he's started to figure out this, way to make his videos unique and interesting. But yeah, for anybody that's watching that just is like, I really want to make a YouTube channel and do pack openings. You can. It's going to be a little bit more challenging because you're going to have to do more than just, hey guys, what's up? We're opening Evolving Skies. Okay, we're cool. And you got to do more than that because there's already so many people doing that. How can you be different? How are you different? You're different because you talk about investing and trying to show people ways that they can, intelligently collect and make a little bit of money here, make a little bit of money there. How am I different? I'm different because I talk about what my experiences have taught me from people flipping stuff in Funko and telling people this is trends that you should talk about, and talking to people about different fakes and stuff. Like, these are ways that you and I have been able to be a little bit different, which causes people to want to watch your videos, which is very important when you have 3 or 4 people in your niche that everybody loves that is making fantastic content. It's going to be really hard to break into what they're doing.
Right. And I think it also presents an opportunity, or it should, people should see it as an opportunity that there is still so much untapped potential just within the Pokemon hobby. Because if you think about it, and you say to yourself, hey, I really want to see a particular video on this topic. I'm really interested in this. Well, if you don't see many videos out there, boom. There is a whole new niche that you can start to focus on. And there really is. There's still so many aspects of Pokemon. Doesn't even have to do with the TCG. It could be other aspects of the hobby that people can really break into. And again, it's great that we have a hobby that is so expansive and that people can explore all of these different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I want to do that I know will probably, it won't be bad for my channel, but it's not like going to be something that's going to skyrocket it, is I'm in a place where I'm being honest and open about some stuff tonight. I'm in a place where, like, I really need to start doing content just because I want to do it. As a content creator and as a YouTuber, you're a slave to the views. When you're lucky enough that your income is tied to the YouTube videos that you're making, you're also a slave to those videos being successful. And so if you're not careful, you can get into a trap of like, well, I know these are going to be popular, so I'll keep cranking out those. And you slowly kill your soul.
Yeah,
and you get burned out. And so I'm getting to a point where, like, I just got to start doing some videos just because I want to. And so I'm learning more about the TCG, and like I have right here some, I'm starting to put together a deck that I'm kind of trying to piece together, and I'm going to start doing some content on the actual game, playing the game and learning with people and screen sharing PTCGO, which not a lot of people do that. Tricky Jim is a fantastic channel that is all about the game, and that's what he does a great job. So it's just ways to make things unique and interesting and different. That's the big thing. There's a channel called Think Media, and Sean Cannell, basically something that he said that's always stuck with me is different is better than better. Your content doesn't have to be better than everybody else's content, but if it's different, then it will be successful. Like, look at Twice Baked Jake. I love Jake. Jake, if you ever watch this, I'm not saying anything bad about you. There's nothing special about the production quality of his videos. He uses an iPhone. He has very minimal edits, but the way he presents his information and his knowledge of the hobby is different than a lot of other channels. His video production quality may not be better than some, but he's exploded to almost 100,000 subscribers now because his content is different and his knowledge is there. Which Jake is awesome. I love his videos.
I've been trying to get old Jake on the podcast for a long time. He
doesn't seem like he's on social media too much.
No, I think he likes to keep to himself, which probably is a good thing. But
I was watching he does Ask Me Anything videos, and so people like put comments, and he's usually such a really put together guy, and so somebody put a comment, and I'm sure you can relate to when people leave nasty comments. Someone said something like, Jake, why should I trust your opinion? Because you're wrong sometimes, and something like that. And he goes, that's a good question. You shouldn't trust my opinion because I make mistakes all the time. And then he moved on to the next question. I was like, Jake just threw a little shade right there to somebody.
Yeah. No, it's true. And another one that talking about what we would call low production quality, but just such a well-known force, like Rudy from Alpha Investments. That guy, sets it, hits play. There's no cuts. There's no jump cuts, nothing. It's just, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to talk, I'm going to hit stop, and I'm going to upload every video. And I mean, he's just a legend in not just in Magic, but basically all TCGs. I mean, you can go across any platform and you can say, hey, do you know Rudy from Alpha Investments? Oh yeah, of course. And so it's true. You don't. It's
about being different. His content and his perspective and his knowledge and the way he presents it is different. And he one of the things he does is he presents his information in a comical not necessarily self-deprecating, but embracing the criticisms that people have against him. People clearly have said nasty things about him, so he embraces those things. He's like, yeah, I live in the third floor basement of my parents' house. When in reality, he has multiple tens of millions of dollars worth of sealed product, and he's not living in his parents' basement. But that's a different thing. That like, it's a tongue-in-cheek way of like, when you're really paying attention, you're like, oh, this is funny. I see what you did there. But that's, I mean, for anybody that's watching, that's an aspiring content creator about anything, it doesn't have to be Pokemon. It can be anything. Maybe you just want to keep Pokemon your hobby, but you're great at gardening or you're great at knitting. I don't know, whatever it may be. It's how can you present what you want to present in a way that's different than everybody else is doing? Because if you're different, people are going to watch you, right? The reason people watch my videos instead of clicking on a Leonhardt video is because it's different. It's not the same thing that Leonhardt is provide. I couldn't provide opening vintage packs 3 times a week like Leonhardt does. I couldn't do that. I'm not there quite yet. Maybe one day, but not yet.
Yeah. So speaking of different, one of the things that I wanted to jump into here tonight is just kind of talking a little bit about some of these other areas of Pokemon that you think maybe on the topic of content creation, maybe something that people haven't tapped into, some other products, other accessories, different things like that in Pokemon. Also things that maybe have more collection value, more investment value. And I know it's not something that you discuss a lot on your channel, but just some thoughts on different things like graded, you were talking about retro video games, maybe graded Pokemon vintage games, Pokemon Power, like the old magazines or like Beckett Price guides with Pokemon, Funko Pops with Pokemon as well. Just interested to get your perspective on some of these different areas, maybe from the content creation standpoint as well as some of those other aspects.
Yeah, one thing that I regret is not hindsight's 2020, right? I wish I would have bought sealed copies of Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue, because that's what I started on. That's what started me on Pokemon, was playing Pokemon Yellow on my Game Boy Advance, which I don't even have anymore. I have a Game Boy Advance and I have Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow, but they're not sealed or anything. So that honestly, that has been something that I've really considered. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day when we're able to move, because one of my big ambitions to move is to get a much larger studio, since this is my full-time job. Large studio, multiple backdrops, multiple sets. And while this looks good, it's full, right? I'd like to have things not be as full. And then at that point, maybe pick up a sealed copy of Yellow, a sealed copy of Blue, a sealed copy of Red, and then get them graded myself. It's rare that I buy graded things. I did buy a few graded things. Like I really wanted these in 10s.
Oh yeah.
So I
CJ,
bought them in.
Those are some of the few CGC 10s that I've ever seen in any card. That's crazy.
Like you're just throwing those up there. Yeah, these are gorgeous. I'll put them up. So this is Red's Challenge Tag Team GX.
That's great.
Pristine 10s, because perfect 10s were like 10 times the price. And then probably the best Pikachu promo ever, in my opinion. is Red's Pikachu, which was the 20th anniversary promo. And I wanted both of these cards in these 10s. And so these 10s are so hard to get that I just decided to buy them. But what I'm getting at is I would love to have graded copies of those games. Pokemon Funko Pops did kind of help the segue into me getting back into Pokemon cards, because I'm super nostalgic. I grew up with Kanto and Johto. So that's really what I know and what I really, really like. With all the new Pokemon coming out and everything, like there's a Feraligatr right here. With all the new Pokemon and everything, I enjoy them, but it's really Kanto and Johto that really have a place in my heart.
Same here.
And so you can see, like, for the longest time, there's tons of Pokemon Funko Pops now. All I wanted was Pikachu, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Those are the only Pokemon Funko Pops that I wanted. But now there's so many, and there's some that are really, see, is it over there? There's some that I'm gaining a lot of value. Like there is a Diamond Edition Vaporeon that I think was San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That's like $150 for a Funko Pop, and very, very, very sought after. So those are things for me that I personally really enjoy. As far as content creation on just those things, I think those are the type of things that you could supplement and like add into your Pokemon channel to be a little bit different. And maybe make a channel that's just about Pokemon, not Pokemon cards, Pokemon in general, all kinds of Pokemon, you know what I mean? And there's all those different collectibles. Something that really surprised me was the plushies, like how sought after. Like I have a couple, but I didn't realize, like I was trying to buy my son he wanted a Pikachu. He just wanted a Pikachu stuffed animal. So we finally found one. We couldn't find one, and we found one. And it was like a little 8-inch Pikachu. And it's like, how much is the Pikachu? I'd like to buy it. Oh, that's $80. What? Yeah, it's imported from Japan. I don't want the Japan imported one. I want the one from China that's $5. $80. I'm gonna give this to a child to play with. But the people go really, really seriously on the plushies. And so on Pokemon Center today, this is something that I almost bought until I saw it was really small. It was a Snorlax beanbag chair.
Oh, yes, I saw
is my
that.
second favorite Pokemon. I was like, Snorlax beanbag chair, and then I saw the woman sitting on it who's probably half my size. And the beanbag chair wasn't big enough for her. I was like, Pokemon, if you're going to make a Snorlax beanbag chair, it needs to be the size of a love sack so that a guy that's 6'3", 200 pounds can sink into it. Then I will buy the Snorlax beanbag chair. So I don't have a ton of experience with other Pokemon related things. I'm just super like whatever I like, I get it. Or I don't always get it, but if it's interesting to me, or if it's something that I want, I'll be interested in it. I'll get into it. Pokemon video games are fun. One of my favorite Pokemon video games, it's not even really a Pokemon video game, but it's a Nintendo video game, Super Smash Brothers. But Pikachu owns in that game. The original Pokemon Snap. The original Pokemon Snap was really, really fun. Was a Pokemon Stadium where you could battle with each other. Yeah, so Pokemon's vast. And I'll be going to Collecticon in Houston in October, barring no weird issues happen. And it's like a Pokemon / pop culture convention, just so much cool Pokemon stuff there. So that's kind of my thoughts.
I'm actually thinking of heading out to that Collecticon myself. I've been keeping it on my radar, and I think my business partner and I think we were talking about it. We're like, we want to hit one convention this year at least, and I think the one in Houston, that Collecticon.
It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. I covered, so they've had two, and I covered both of them, and I made videos on both. And this one should be the biggest, not the biggest to say that biggest means better, but it'll have the most vendors and options and fun things, and a fun idea that I have for that convention, because it's like a 5-hour drive for us. And I'm trying to put it together. Tell me if you think this is a terrible idea, but I want to do a video that while we're driving, I take shoe polish and ride on my truck. I have to figure out how to word it, but getting money for a giveaway or trying to do a giveaway or something like that. Here's my Venmo. send me $2. Right. And then when we get to Houston, however much money people send me, it's $100 or $50 or whatever it is. All right, we're making this video, right? Okay, then we got $150 on Venmo. We're going to go into Collecticon. We're going to buy $150 worth of packs, crack them, and give everything away. I think that'd be a fun type of a thing to do that you could only do at a convention. Or PSA will be there. We're going to crack them, and then if we pull something great, we'll send it off to PSA and then commit to give it away later on in the future. So y'all should, I mean, I guess you're in Arizona, so it's not too far.
No,
but
no.
It'll be fun.
I wouldn't drive myself. I definitely would just go ahead and fly. It's only about a 20-minute drive to the airport, and it's probably about an hour and a half flight. So
you'll have less travel time than me driving.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good convention, and for people that love Pokemon, and there's a lot of people that just collect by themselves or with a couple of their friends. But when you're in an atmosphere where there's just a bunch of people that everybody is really interested in what you're doing, it can be really fun. It can be really liberating because I know that not everybody that's a collector is extroverted like me and super self-confident like me. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are collectors that maybe have a hard time making friends, that have a hard time connecting with other people. And you go to something like this, and it's hard not to connect and make friends when everybody that's there is there, because you all have common ground of collecting Pokemon or collecting Funko Pops or loving anime if you're going to an anime convention or whatever the case may be. I love conventions, as if you can't tell. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Well, and you know, it's so good too, especially coming off of the heels of this last year, for us all to like get together, for, you know, like you said, for us all to be in one place with a, you know, common purpose. We're all there for this common passion that we have. And it's a great opportunity for people to get to know a little bit better the people that they're supporting, the people that they're watching on YouTube. You know, for us as well, to connect with these people that watch us and support us all the time. And I love it. Like I'm the same way as you, like super extroverted. You know, I did a lot of public speaking, you know, like especially in my past, I was in sports, pretty highly touted. So I was always in front of crowds and everyone. And I just love to feed off of that energy. And it's nice that we're now getting to the point where some of these conventions and these bigger meetings are starting to pop up, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That lends really well to making YouTube videos too. People are like, how do you talk to the camera? I'm like, you don't understand. The camera doesn't talk back. It's really easy to talk to the camera because it'll just let me keep going. Yeah.
Well, guys, those of you that are here in the live chat, what we'll go ahead and do now, we'll go ahead and jump into the question and answer session. So any questions that you have for either myself or for Will, aka Dr. Applesauce, go ahead and throw those in the chat, and we'll go ahead and jump into those now. But as we're jumping into those questions, Will, I want to give you an opportunity for anybody that maybe hasn't subscribed to you on your various channels, your various social media channels. Go ahead and give us all of the handles where everybody can find you.
Well, you can catch on Instagram is basically my number one place where I communicate everything. So if I'm doing, I'm getting the chat popped up over here in a different pop-up window so I can do it. If I'm doing a pack break or a box break, or I have a special live stream or whatever, Instagram is where I communicate everything. If I'm doing a giveaway, people are like, I missed out on the giveaway. How do I not miss out? If you follow me on Instagram and you put on the little notifications for a post, you're not going to miss anything that I give away, anything that I do, any video, all that stuff. So Instagram is at Dr. Applesauce, and then the Pokemon channel is Dr. Applesauce 2, and the Funko channel is Dr. Applesauce. So it's really interesting because I'll say things, you know, on my Funko channel or my Pokemon channel, like I do this full time, so on and so forth. And sometimes people get a little cocky and they're like, you have 7,000 subscribers. What do you mean you do this full time? You can't, like, how are you, what kind of a person supports their family on 7,000 subscribers? And I'm like, I want to start teaching people, stop thinking about it that way. It doesn't matter if you have 5,000 or you have 100,000. I know people with 200,000 subscribers that aren't doing anything with it because all they want to do is have fun. It's not about subscribers. It's about giving something worthwhile to people and getting people to trust that you care about them and you want to give them something valuable, be that information,
Mm-hmm.
not just like actually giving things. So
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Applesauce on Instagram, and Dr. Applesauce 2 and Dr. Applesauce on YouTube. And I try and make good videos. If you like Pokemon videos, I see a couple of my patrons in the chat.
Well, awesome.
Actually.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into these questions here. I saw a good one here from Jody. He wants to know, I think this is a question a lot of people want to know, how many Funkos do you actually own?
Well, I hate to disappoint everybody. I have no idea.
I figured that was going to be the answer. That's so when you know, there's a funny thing. I remember there's a saying. It says, if you, how does it go? If you know how much money you've got, you ain't got much. If you know how many Funkos you've got, you don't have much.
There's people that, like there's apps that are there to really conveniently keep track of everything. Mm-hmm. But I collect in such a different way. Things are constantly in and out because maybe I get tired of something or I decide I want something new. So I sell it and get rid of it. I don't really get attached to a lot of things unless there's a specific emotional like attachment to it. Like the autograph by Chris Sabat and Jason David Frank, I'd never get rid of those. So things are constantly coming and going. So it's just too complicated for me to try and catalog all of it. I do know that I probably have somewhere around 250, 300 ish, just because I can kind of look and because it's all right here. Like I only have very few in a closet. It's all right. So I know it's around 250 ish or something of that nature. But I would have more if I had more space. You can't even see
there's right.
There's a bunch on the floor right here. If I had more space, I would have more.
Hence the bigger house for the larger Funko collection.
Well, one of the things I want to do with the bigger studio is I want to have a more, a more artistic setup. Like I want to have the space to say I can do this, that, and the other. Not necessarily here's my space. How do I move things around every 6 months to make it work? I want to be intentional. I want to have a specific backdrop for the Pokemon videos, a specific backdrop for the general collecting videos. But right now, this is just my alternate backdrop where you can kind of see some different cool stuff. So that's one of the goals. Jody, that's a great question. A couple hundred, not there's people with a lot more. There's people with a lot more.
We've got one here from trainer JKE. TCG question: why use Switch over Air Balloon and vice versa?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, those two cards have completely different effects. Switch allows you to swap out your. Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. Switch lets you swap your active Pokemon with a Pokemon on your bench. So you can just swap them out real quick. Air Balloon, I believe Air Balloon takes away the retreat cost of your active Pokemon. So they're very similar. I'm not super versed on the nuance of the two. They have the same effect. Now there are other cards that can, so Air Balloon is an item card that attaches to your active Pokemon, and there are other supporter cards that nullify item cards. So that is a pitfall of Air Balloon. You put Air Balloon on a Pokemon, and then its retreat cost is 0. Well, that effect is limited to that Pokemon, right? That effect is limited. Wide World of Gamers. What's up, brother? That's my old podcast co-host. We both got super busy and we couldn't continue our podcast for a while. So those are really I think that's the biggest difference between Switch and Air Balloon. Air Balloon, you have to use it on one Pokemon and it's stuck with that Pokemon, but you can use it over and over and over. So there's an advantage. The disadvantage is it's stuck on that Pokemon and that the effect can be nullified by your opponent. Switch is a one-time use. You throw it down and you switch out your Pokemon, but you can save it and use it on any Pokemon. So those are kind of the differences. They're both good. It's just about your strategy, really. I have a Lightning deck that I play, and I put out, I forget what Thunder Mountain or something like that. And Thunder Mountain, I can't remember what it is. I have something that I play that makes all of my electric Pokemon have 0 retreat cost. And so there's no need for me to have air balloon at that point. So it's all about building your deck creative. And I'm by no means don't have anywhere near the amount of experience as some people, but I do know about those 2 cards.
Well, I'm just happy to know that I actually have an inkling of what you're saying. A lot of people may not know. Today, I actually played my first ever Pokemon game. First ever.
There you go.
First ever. And it was actually, I was like, you know what? Like, I could get into this. I don't know why I haven't.
And it's very complex, the decks that you can build and the different combinations of things. And you build a deck, you're like, ooh, this is good. And you tweak and you tweak and you tweak and you tweak. And then you get a deck that's just awesome. And then one of your cards goes out of rotation. You got to start all over.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Let's see, I thought Jay Monetta had one. He says, I see a transition happening from retail to online as far as card distribution. Are you noticing that as well?
Yeah. I think just a matter of convenience is why that's happening. I think there's a lot of pitfalls to that as well. This goes back to MetaZoo, which what I was telling people with MetaZoo, a lot of the defense is just, yeah, people are going to want to buy it to flip it. Just get a good relationship with your local game store. Okay, that sounds good on paper, but the majority of this product is going to go up for pre-order online. The local game stores that are going to do those in-person sales aren't going to be the stores that are getting 1,000 boxes. So I see a lot of that happening, and it's good, but it's also bad. It's always a mixed bag. It's good because it's convenient, but if there's a lot of eyes on something, that there's money to be made, which we're seeing an exodus in Pokemon of that happening. I think with celebrations, we're going to have it. We're going to see a spike. We're going to have some challenges with celebrations, but I think after celebrations, we're going to see a little bit of a cooling off period for a little while. But then MetaZoo is going crazy, and people are seeing, oh, $100 was selling for $700, and a lot of that's going to be online. So it's good, but it's challenging either way. So like with anything, there's always pluses and negatives. So local game stores are great, but you got to get out of your house. You got to go to the store. You got to actually go in, take the time to go in and do it, as opposed to sitting down and grabbing it real quick while you're doing whatever else you're doing.
But also the nice thing about that is your local game store will have it there ready for you.
Yeah.
How many times have you, I know I've run across it before too, before actually working with distributors, of going in, putting in for a pre-order with a particular person and then not actually getting that, them not actually fulfilling those. So that's the nice part about always
or getting
having
things
the
late.
LGS.
I have no evolving. I found some evolving skies on Friday at GameStop. That's all I've had. I have a case of booster boxes and the 4 of the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. None of them are here yet because just delays.
Now, I saw you put out a thing on Instagram here recently asking if anyone had received their confirmation of shipment for the Evolving Skies Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. Now, I'll tell you, I haven't gotten a confirmation email, but they did deduct it from my bank account. I did see that they deducted it, and they said that they would not do that until it was actually shipped. So maybe they just haven't sent me the confirmation and it's on its way.
So I got mine today. I got my confirmation email today with my tracking number, and the tracking number saying it would be delivered today. So I'm gonna go check the porch and see if FedEx came by when we're in the middle of this. So I don't know. They're behind. It's crazy in that, who knows. So I know some people are getting their confirmations. It's been rolling in over the past couple of days. Also, something you want to start some controversy with Pokemon people, start trying to explain to them the concept of a lottery system for hyped product, and they will get so mad at you. It's like, it says right here, enter for a chance. That means it's a lottery. Doesn't mean it's a lottery. They would have said lottery. Oh, okay. Just a side note.
it's like lawyers, like you have to have that specific terminology in there. Jeez.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Let's see. Basic Trainer says, what is your single favorite piece in the collection?
That's easy. I would love to show it to you guys. I'm afraid to move it though. So my favorite piece in the collection is it's my Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight Rises hot toy. So it's the DX11 Joker. So it's made in the likeness of Heath Ledger and it looks exactly like him.
Wow.
Loved Heath Ledger. That is my favorite Joker, is the Joker that he portrayed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
And so it's a 1/6 scale, highly articulate, highly realistic figure. That's what hot toys are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very, very expensive. And they retail for $250 to $300. And then depending on how rare or how sought after it is, you know. So I think this one on secondary market's now like $800 or $900. And so I saved and bought it for $500 when that was the current value for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my absolute favorite piece in my collection because he's my favorite Joker. Those are my favorite Batman trilogies. You can tell I'm a Batman fan. And I love that figure. It doesn't matter that it's incredibly valuable. And I actually did a really nice review on it and put that video up last year. And I didn't realize it, but I put it up on the anniversary of his death. Wow. Completely on accident. So wow. I put this video, everybody was like, did you do this on purpose? I'm like, dude, what? Today is the anniversary of his death. I was like, oh, I did not do that on purpose. But that is my absolute favorite piece in the collection. As far as my favorite Pokemon cards, these are really close right here. Mm-hmm. These are really close. And then my base set big three right there.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Well, while I'm looking through the chat here, what did you think about Joaquin Phoenix?
He did good. He did a great job. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of comic book nerds in general get really caught up on who they think their character is supposed to be, and they can't let go of the reins of this is your character in a different universe. Mm-hmm. This is a different portrayal of this character. And I thought he did fantastic. I thought he did a really, really good job showing how he was a person, and he just really degraded into mm-hmm. the Joker, and showing how, you know, kind of a type and shadow, how society can be really brutal, and mm-hmm. how many psychopaths and bad people have been made just because, you know, nobody cared about them.
Yeah, I thought that was probably, because I've actually been a Batman fan for a long time, and I thought that was probably one of the most real-world portrayals of a mm-hmm. DC or Marvel character. Yeah, in my opinion,
very real and visceral. I loved that movie. It's one of the few movies that I really, really loved that I probably wouldn't watch again. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing to say when you like something so much, but it impacts you so much. You're like, I don't know if I could watch it. Yeah. I could probably watch it again. We watched A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge fan of cinema. I'm a huge fan of movies and stories. And I loved that movie. Mm-hmm. And that movie impacted me like a movie hasn't impacted me in a long time. And I loved it, and I will never watch it again.
I know exactly what you mean. No, I've got my own list of movies. The same thing. My wife will be like, hey, you want to watch it? No. Well, have you seen it before? Yeah. Well, why don't you want to watch it again? Did you not like it? No, I loved it. That's why I can't watch it again.
Yeah. It's just sometimes like I can't do it. It's just one of those movies. It's not that it's bad or dark. It's just like I'm happy where we are.
Yep. Jafet Vasquez says, which Funko is your highest value?
So I am different than a lot of Funko Pop collectors. I don't keep the Funko Pops that I have that are super, super valuable. I can't help but I've, had Pops come through that are worth $1,000, $2,000, and I always sell them because I can't help but think like this camera that I'm streaming with is my workhorse. I make videos with this camera. I stream with this camera. It's the camera that goes with me everywhere. I would rather have this $1,000 camera than $1,000 collectible on the shelf. It's just my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. So the things that are really, really expensive, I usually end up selling them when I want to get a new computer, or I want to get a new this, or want to get a new that. So I think my most valuable, it's a toss-up between, I have a 2012 Jason Voorhees Chase, which with Funko Pops, when they first started making them, some of them would have a variant, and that variant would be the Chase. So it would be something different. So this one in specific is a glow-in-the-dark variation that one out of every case of 36 would be this variation, right? So this is the Jason Voorhees glow in the dark chase. That's 1 out of 36. It's a very, very cool pop. And now chases are only 1 out of 6. So the Chase Funko Pop variants used to be much more rare. And so that one's worth about $500. And then I have a Master Choco from 2018 San Diego Comic-Con, My Hero Academia Pop. It's worth around $500 as well. And both of those have sentimental connections. So I wouldn't ever sell those. But I'm just never been the type of guy that wants to keep something on the shelf that's worth, thousands of dollars. And that's just me. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do that. There may come a time when, like I said, we get to the point where I have my own production company and kind of some of the goals that I have, and having a figure on the shelf that's worth $2,000 isn't something that bothers me. It isn't inhibiting me from getting that new piece of gear.
Right.
So.
No, I really like that mentality as well. I often have done the same thing where I've sacrificed on expensive collection pieces because I've been looking more towards utility, because those items or those pieces of equipment that are utility can ultimately put me in a better position long term to then get those higher collection items. So I like that. I like that. Let's see, a couple more questions here. Ryo asks, what Pokemon did you use to the most to beat the Elite Four when you played Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow? What was your squad?
I have to be honest, I can't remember. I was 10 or 11, and without getting into too much, my life was really tumultuous back then. And so I remember playing the games and loving them. And I remember reading Harry Potter and just like connecting with Harry Potter and connecting with Harry on such a deep level. But I can't remember what my Pokemon were in the video game. I remember going to the mall and waiting in line for 3 hours and giving them my cartridge, and they uploaded Mew onto my cartridge so I could have all 151. Yeah, but I can't remember what. I've never been somebody in my games to like have a specific set that I stick with. I always kind of go for whatever is the most powerful that I can get my hands on and take into any given situation. So I can't, being as young as I was and just kind of some of the situations of my life at that time, I don't remember. I remember catching the Articuno and Moltres and Zapdos and how fun and stuff that was, but I can't remember what my Pokemon were.
Well, I can tell you right now, didn't matter if it was red, didn't matter if it was blue, didn't matter if it was yellow, I was always getting Bulbasaur as my starter. Because, dude, I'll tell you what, a lot of people always chose Charizard. That was like the like obvious choice for most people. Blastoise, and I think that just trickled over into the TCG. But Venusaur, if you had Venusaur on your squad when you went to the Elite Four, especially when you battled Lance, there was no better Pokemon to have by your side. And I don't know. Everybody always looked over Venusaur, and he was my go-to. Let's see, just a few more here.
I see something I would like to address. If
go ahead.
Cool with you. Jody says, my Diamond Charmander is now worth $150 for some reason. I just bought it for $15 a few months ago, brand new, less than 10x or more than 10x in less than a year. So I wanted to bring that up. I haven't investigated Diamond Charmander. I'm not sure if that's legitimate or not. I haven't been paying attention to the Diamond Charmander because I have regular Charmander, so I haven't been paying attention to it. I would suggest going to eBay and typing in Diamond Charmander Funko Pop, and specifically whatever, if you have the square sticker, you have the shared sticker. If you have the sticker that's a little bit smaller, you have the convention sticker, and populating the eBay sold listings and looking at the trends, like you can do with Pokemon. Look at the trends and see, okay, was Charmander selling for $20 for a long time, and then all of a sudden there was a couple sales for $300, and then that's indicative of something fishy happening. So I've been seeing people talk about the Diamond Charmander. It's also possible that people just want the Diamond Charmander and it's a convention exclusive, and so it doesn't get restocked or remade. So Jody, that's what I would do. I'd check out eBay and see if you see any weird inconsistencies. And if you go to my channel, Jody, go to Dr. Applesauce, and you can not Dr. Applesauce 2. Go to Dr. Applesauce and you search something like Funko Pop eBay price manipulation or something. I have a video that I made that was like 25 minutes long that I literally take you through and show you how to investigate step by step if you see something that's weird, to see if, okay, no, this is a trend that's been building, or no, these prices just jumped overnight, and see if something shady is going on there. I've made a video exactly on that. If you go to the main Dr. Applesauce channel, search like PPG price manipulation, eBay price manipulation, it'll pop up.
Wow. Well, I think that's probably a good place to leave off there, or to sign off. I appreciate all of you guys dropping your questions here in the live chat. I think we got to pretty much all of them. But before we sign off here tonight, Will, I want to give you an opportunity to share anything with anybody watching, whether this is live or in the replay or listening right now, anything that they can expect from you coming up, any things that you want to share. They can expect to see you in October at Collecticon.
Yes.
That's exciting. Hopefully I'll be able to make it there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, just want to give you the floor to share anything that you'd like.
I'll be at Collecticon in October, so it's about 6 weeks. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you're in the Texas area and you want, it's not expensive. I want to say it's like 30 or 40 bucks for a weekend pass. Come out. It's gonna be fun. I don't have anything too crazy lined up for the Pokemon channel. I do have a really cool video coming out probably next week, unless something else pops up that I want to cover, and then this will just get pushed back. Just going over price trends and rarities of chase pulls from modern sets, and talking about, how you can best spend your money if all you want are the cards. Is it better to buy singles or to crack packs, so to speak? But that's the real only like super interesting thing I have already lined up. But I do have lots of plans and ideas for really cool stuff. I have some cool video ideas that I'm trying to figure out how to execute. So just follow Dr. Applesauce 2, and I promise I'm going to continue to bring cool, interesting videos that people aren't really doing, like toying with the idea of buying a very strong CGC 9.5, which would be 2 10s and 2 9.5s, and cracking it on camera and sending it to PSA to see if it'll get a 10, and documenting that whole process, because nobody's documented that process on YouTube. People talk about it and it's their return, but like taking the time to, multiple months to document that type of a thing, I think would be really interesting. I think it'd be really, really fun. So just subscribe on Dr. Applesauce 2, make sure to turn on notifications, and I promise I'll keep bringing fun content, and we'll do openings every once in a while. I like to do live stream openings with my best friends because it's fun. And we're going to open MetaZoo because we want to, and it's fun. We're going to open Evolving Skies, 3 booster packs of Evolving Skies probably next week, because it's fun and it's a fun way to hang out with friends. So yeah, just follow over there and on Instagram so you don't miss anything.
Awesome. Well, again, Will, thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
So glad that
this was fun.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally made it happen. 2 busy content creators, 2 busy dads and husbands. I'm glad that we finally made it happen, and I'm truly looking forward to seeing everything that's coming down the pipeline from you. I know that no matter what, it's gonna be fire, and hopefully I'll get to see you in October.
Appreciate it. If you come to Collecticon, let me know. We'll make a video or do a live stream or something while we're there. It'll be fun.
For sure. Well, guys, again, thank you so much for being here for another Pokemon Masterclass. We will see you all next time right here